how not to be scared when I hear that the Chinese, who gave us COVID one way or another, are experimenting with something that kills 100% of mice that are designed to be like humans.
Well, I think it's important to recognize that people are going to be doing coronavirus research long into the future because that is a pandemic threat. The key thing is making sure it's done safely, as you alluded to. Is it being done at the correct BSL level? And while there are a lot of alarmist and sensationalistic headlines about this experiment, I think it's important to remember that this wasn't something that really necessarily poses a threat to humans at this time. This is a specific mouse model that has lots of receptors all over the body in a way that humans don't. So I don't necessarily think this has a major threat to human health. The implication is, is China doing this research safely? Because that's the key thing.
Yeah, look, you make a good point. They called them humanized mice. They lost weight, hunched posture, sluggish, eyes went completely white before they died. In this strain that they created, 100% kill rate of mice, Ebola average fatality 25 to 90%, MERS 40%. Obviously, COVID-19 we found out was less than 1% in terms of a kill rate. So what this could do, I guess the question is, you said the key is if China can do this safely. And we know by example after example, they don't do it safely. They intentionally cover things up. Why isn't there a bigger push among the scientific community to force China, after all of this, to be more transparent?
Well, I think that's always been the question, is trying to get China to be more receptive to biosafety norms. And we know that they were working with coronaviruses prior to COVID-19 at BSL-2, which probably isn't high enough for some of those pathogens. It's very hard to get countries to apply societal norms that they themselves don't agree to. I think what you have to do is continue to put pressure on China in terms of diplomatic pressure, in terms of other scientists that have to collaborate with these individuals to make sure that if they're going to be collaborating with Western scientists, that they're doing it in a safe manner. It's really only through social and scientific pressure that I think something like this can change. This culture can change.
I see what we say on the lower third there. Can Chinese labs be trusted? That I'm reading question mark. The answer to me is absolutely not, and they've shown no desire to be trusted. Are we right to think that this sounds an awful lot like something from the People's Liberation Army, that the purpose of this is a bioweapon?
I don't think that this is a biological weapon. I don't think that this is the proper pathogen that they would be using for a biological weapon. Yes, there are concerns that China is developing or has an offensive biological weapons program. That's something that's in the Department of State's unclassified report. So we worry about biological weapons, but I don't necessarily think a coronavirus, something that could easily blow back on your own population, would be the ideal biological weapon. There are better things to use, so to speak, if you're thinking about biological weapons.
Actually, I know look, that's an excellent point. We saw what happened with COVID in the beginning with the Chinese. Doc, it's always good to see you. We appreciate the sobriety and the reality check. We invite you to sign up for War Notes. This is where we first talked about this story. It gives you a free look at the show every day at 4 p.m. It's our look at the most important stories of the day. We'll have a lot of our reporting from New Hampshire tomorrow. Warnotes.com, at Leland Vittert on Instagram or Twitter. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.